Unit 1, Section 1, what is selling? So before we start the course proper, we need to define what selling is, because sales has many negative things attached to it and it really shouldn't. It's a job you can be proud of, a high-paying job with lots of rewards that requires a huge amount of skill. So, what is selling? So the Oxford Dictionary gives two definitions. So the first one is to give or hand over something in exchange for money. So this is the fairly obvious one. This is the you give me some money and I'll give you the product in return. And it's a transaction. It's mostly administrative and it's fairly basic and can be automated, as we've seen with online retailers such as Amazon, who've absolutely nailed this side of a sales transaction. However, the second definition gives us more clues to us why being a professional salesperson requires a high level of skill, because it's to persuade someone of the merits of, and that persuade someone of the merits of your argument. So you're trying to sell something, persuade someone to do something, and that requires a huge amount of interpersonal persuasion skills. You have to be an expert communicator to do this. So I hope you'd agree with this statement here. Would you agree that being a sales professional requires a high level of skill? I hope you do, because some of the skills are similar to the skills that you would associate with professions such as lawyers, and they train for 6 years. So to be able to persuade a jury or a judge whether someone's guilty or not guilty, they have a lot of training. However, most sales professionals only get about a week of product training and often not very much sales training to go along with it. So is it any wonder that actually as a profession, sales is seen as quite difficult, a little bit intangible, bearing in mind the training that's given is really minimal. And it can be really hard work for sales managers who employ people, because to coach a new recruit takes a huge investment, far more than most people realise. Sales managers and sales directors have lots of other responsibilities. They can't be spending every minute with a new recruit, which is why it's so important to get good quality sales training, which is what this course is. And if you can demonstrate this to an employer, this is a real plus for them to know that the person joining them has already got a high level of sales skills. So why does sales have a bad reputation? Let's look at this quickly. So there's either two images that are usually portrayed when we're looking at sales professionals. There's either the pathetic character, such as Gil Gunderson here from the Simpsons cartoon, where Gil is a pathetic loser who can't sell anything to anybody. And then we have the classic liar, slightly slick sales professional image that we have here, the Wolf of Wall Street, where essentially he lied to sell penny stocks to people to make himself wealthy. And both of these images aren't good. So you don't want to be a loser, you don't also want to be viewed as a liar. Well, in actual fact, that's not the image we're aiming for. So if you're going to be a professional consultative salesperson, you want to view yourself as somebody like Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. He was a technical guy for sure, but ultimately, he described himself as a sales guy, and he had fantastic sales skills. He was able to raise investment. He was able to convince the others around him of his ideas. And that's the image that you should be aiming for. You should be aiming to project yourself in professional selling as somebody like Steve Jobs, not a liar, not a loser, but someone who is respected and admired. Let's look at another reason why it's really important for you to get educated and for you to improve your sales skills. So this guy is Robert Kiyosaki. Now, I hope he doesn't want to sue me for putting a picture of his book on the screen, but it's a really great book and I implore you to go out and buy it. But Robert says in not necessarily in this book, but in some of his fantastic blogs he does, lots of content he puts out there, he basically said, I'll let you read this for yourself, but he basically says the number one skill you need in today's information age, because we're no longer in a manufacturing age, we're now in the information age, is your sales skills. So whether you're employed, self-employed, a business owner, an investor, whatever walk of life you're in now, you need to improve your sales skills, because if you don't, you make yourself vulnerable to be replaced. Because if you can automate something like Amazon has with the transactional side of selling, you can be replaced. And that's not what we want. We want to ensure that we future-proof you and your job by giving you fantastic sales skills. So what are the rewards for a sales job? The money you earn is directly linked to your performance, okay? So the more you sell, the more money you make. Simple as that. Uncapped bonus schemes. If you can get yourself a sales job which has an uncapped bonus scheme, you could actually see yourself earning more than the chief executive of the company. I just wish more companies did do uncapped sales bonus schemes, because when a salesperson is selling things, everybody in that business benefits. Everybody benefits when a salesperson is smashing it out of the park and selling lots for them. I really wish the companies would incentivize. So if you can find yourself a job with an uncapped bonus scheme, then really grasp that opportunity with both hands. And if you are an expert salesperson in your own business, this is the key to making yourself seriously wealthy. So you might be looking for a job now, so this is why you're on this training course. But in the future, if you've got aspirations to start a business, then if you've got expert sales skills like Robert Kiyosaki was telling us to go and do, you can get yourself seriously rich in business if you've got the ability to do things like raise finance, pitch things to high investors and things like that. So those are the rewards of a sales job, far outweighing most other professions that you can think of. So let's just quickly look at the differences between a transactional sale and a consultative sale. Now, this is in your course booklet, so go and look at this properly. But we want to be on the right-hand side of this slide. We want to be on the consultative side of selling. We want to be on the side which requires someone to have to pay us really good money because we have a high level of skill. We're strategic. We're dealing with multiple buyers. It's business to business, blue chip selling. And the success factors in it are your skill. Okay, it's your skills that are the success factors. And if you can get yourself into this side of the selling, which is consultative selling, you are much more likely to make yourself lots of money. The transactional side is not the side we want to be in. So if we look at the history of professional consultative selling, it's been around for years. Okay, so this is nothing new. This is something that big companies like General Electric, Hewlett-Packard, Xerox have been doing for a long, long time. And now most of the companies that you will be looking for employment for, some of the big names out there, such as Johnson & Johnson if you're looking for healthcare, and Microsoft and Apple in IT sales, Tesla even, now we're looking into the future of car sales, they will expect you to be able to be consultative sales professionals. And this is what this course is going to teach you to do. You're going to be able to demonstrate in interview that you are capable of being a professional consultative sales professional. So a return to consultative selling. So the reason companies are now returning to it and it's becoming a buzzword again back in business is everything has become commoditized. There's never-ending competition. Because of the information age, you can go onto a browser and you can search things. You've got lots of different options available. And another great big thing as well is you will have multiple products in your portfolio if you're working for one of these big brands. You won't just have one or two products, you'll have a whole portfolio. And that requires you becoming very skilled at working out which products in your portfolio that you will pitch to your customer group. And again, that is the sign of a true consultative salesperson. And any medium to big purchasing decisions that are being made now are being made by a committee of buyers in actual fact. We had the crash of 2007-8, with a big banking crash, which made everybody a little bit more concerned about how they were spending money. So they made access to buyers more difficult in the big companies. And now we're having this coronavirus situation. And again, the need for sophistication is even more pressing. So stick with me in this training because it's really important that you, if you want to get a job in this really competitive market and this turmoil we're in now, you need to become a professional, expert consultative salesperson. So let's quickly summarize. So selling requires both administrative and persuasive skills. Expert communication skills to influence and educate your customers is so important. You need to be an educator now. You need to be an expert in your industry. And it's essential for you to thrive in the information age. This isn't a nice to have. This isn't a case of, I can just go out there and be really motivated. You need to develop these skills. It's an absolute essential. And by demonstrating these advanced skills, you will stand out to potential employers. If you can demonstrate you've been through this process and you understand what consultative selling is and you're practicing it daily, you will have the edge over the other candidates and you will be able to apply this to the interviews you're having as well. That's one of the great things about this is an interview is a sales job essentially. When you're having an interview for anything, you are the product and you are selling yourself to that person. And by the end of this course, you will have that skill. You will be able to nail your interviews.